Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're taking apart a really compelling horror story, not just to get spooked, but to figure out exactly how it works its magic to create pure terror.
So, we're diving into a chilling Hindi horror story today. But we're not just going to retell it. Oh no. We're going to map out its entire narrative structure to uncover the mechanics of fear. We'll go piece by piece to really understand how it builds such a terrifying experience. All right, so our story kicks off with part one, the Village of Shadows. This is what writers call the exposition. It's where we get the lay of the land, setting the stage in this village, Nemkeda, a place that gets plunged into literal darkness and some really deep-seated superstitions every single night. And right away, we're hit with the main conflict. On one side, you've got our protagonist, Smear. He's a young engineer, he sees an old transformer and thinks, okay, that's a technical problem I can fix. But on the other side, the villagers see the door of death, a supernatural curse. This clash, between modern logic and ancient fear, that's the engine that drives this whole story. And what's so effective here is how clear the stakes are. The village elder, Ramu Kaka, he doesn't beat around the bush. He doesn't just hint that it's dangerous, he spells it out for Smear, plain as day. This warning immediately tells you how high the stakes are and just how deeply this community believes in the supernatural. Okay, that brings us to part two, a knock in the night. This is the rising action, and it's where the tension really starts to crank up. A bunch of unsettling things start happening that challenge Smear's whole worldview, pulling him right toward the danger he was told to stay away from. Smear, all alone in his room, goes through this just masterful horror sequence. It's a classic for a reason, right? The story methodically builds the suspense by escalating the threat. It starts small, with a distant sound of wet footsteps. Then it gets closer, a cold whisper right in his ear, and finally becomes physical, 3 solid knocks on his door. So who's at the door? It's this young man, Somesh. And his appearance, his face is white, like he has no blood left. For us, the audience, this is the first huge visual clue that something is seriously, seriously wrong here. And this is how the trap is sprung. It's so clever. Somesh's plea for help isn't just some random request. It hits Smear right where it counts, his sense of duty, his basic human decency. It's the perfect trap because it uses his own empathy as the bait. And that leads us into part 3, the ghost's bargain. The rising action just keeps climbing as Smear, against his gut feeling, decides to help. This decision kicks off a journey that's going to completely blur the line between what's real and what's supernatural. Now, this is just such a brilliant, creepy detail. Smear's walking, hearing his own feet on the path, but Somesh, he moves in total silence. It's like he's floating. This is the moment that confirms for the audience what Smear is only just starting to suspect. His guide isn't human. And this is where the story gets really clever, because now we're asking the same exact question Smear is asking himself. Is this real? Is it a trap? It puts us right there in his shoes, feeling that same confusion and that growing sense of dread as he walks deeper into the darkness. Just look at how every single part of this journey is built to crank up that feeling of dread. The path itself leads to the site of an old accident. The trees feel threatening. He literally hears whispers calling him another victim, and the house itself just reeks of decay. Every step is designed to strip away his confidence and make him feel completely isolated. And all of this brings us to part 4, the price of light. We've hit the climax. This is it, the point of no return, where the horrifying truth is finally going to be revealed. And boom, there's the twist. The horrible truth just gets laid out on the table. Smear wasn't brought here to save anyone. He was brought here to be a pawn in a ghostly reckoning that's been 2 years in the making. So what do the ghosts want? It's shockingly simple and just stark. They don't want medicine. They don't want justice, not in the way we think of it. They need one thing, a human life, a sacrifice. That's what they believe will restore the power and finally give them peace. That one line, wow, it's absolutely chilling, right? It completely flips the entire story on its head. This was never a rescue mission. It's a story of vengeance, and Smear has just found out that he's the price to be paid.
Okay, so now we're in part 5, Escape from the Damned. This is the falling action. The big secret is out, and now it's all about survival. It's just a frantic, desperate chase as Smear tries to get away from these things that are hunting him. And this chase, it's not just a guy running through the woods. It's a flight through this total nightmare landscape that seems alive, and all the while he's being chased by the sounds of their laughter and shrieks. It's horrifying. This is such a classic horror move, and it's so effective. You know the type, right? Where the supernatural force controls the world around you, warping reality so that no matter which way you run, you end up right back where you started. It makes escape feel totally impossible. And that brings us to the final part, the well of no return. This is the denouement, the final chilling conclusion. And it all happens at the one place the villagers fear most, what they call the Gate of the God of Death. The irony here is just gut-wrenching, isn't it? He runs from the trap of the haunted house only to find himself cornered at the very source of the entire curse, the epicenter of the ghost's power. His path has run out. And this is the final, terrifying question the story leaves us with. It all started with Smear trying to fix a simple blackout, a physical darkness. But it ends with him staring into the abyss of this haunted well, a supernatural, eternal darkness. It presents him with this awful choice between two kinds of oblivion. And this is the final brilliant twist. The ghosts aren't just out for revenge anymore. They're actually offering him salvation, a twisted, dark kind of peace. They're promising an end to the fear and the struggle. And the story just leaves us there to ponder his ultimate, inescapable fate.